Hey everybody, welcome to the Man Alone YouTube channel. This is a YouTube channel where we play solo RPG games, we talk about them, we review them, and every once in a dang blue moon, we make them. And that is one of those videos today. I am so excited. I am so excited to share this with all of you because it has been a long time coming and a real labor of love to make this real. For those of you who've been following this channel for a while, you know that Dragonbane was a big part of this channel. It was in a lot of ways the thing that restored my faith in tabletop role-playing, brought me very much back into the fold, was a very early standby playthrough on this channel. There are anywhere from 7 to 9 playthroughs of this. The numbering got a little messed up, but I love this game, and I have been working on a solo supplement to it that I feel like I've been talking about so long that I think some people were like, yeah, he's talking about that fanciful solo RPG supplement again for Dragonbane. What a nice young man. We hope the best for him and his delusions. But this is no delusion. It is here. It is available today on DriveThruRPG, and if you'll have me, I wanted to do a sneak peek at it in today's video. I wanted to share with you what this supplement's about, why it's special, why it's different, and why I really love this product. I'm so happy we were able to bring it to life. And yeah, let's actually just get into it. Let me not even wax poetically anymore. So this is Called to the Green. Link is below in description, and you can get the PDF on DriveThruRPG. It is about 50 pages, and it is, to my knowledge, which is pretty extensive in this area, it is the most thorough, complete, built-out solo supplement that you can get for Dragonbane. This has always been my vision, to expand on those last lines of Alone in Deepfall Breach, which so many people have read, that say, hey, keep your adventure going, take your character out of the Misty Vale. I was really stuck on that and really wanting to envision how we could keep going with that excellent setup from Sean Tompkin to say, yeah, let's keep going. Let's give more adventures, right? But I wanted it to be something more. I wanted it to be more than just like an adventure setting. I wanted it to be more than just solo tools. And so these pages, I promise you that you're going to get your money's worth. And I want to give an overview of what you're going to get with this supplement. And I hope that you will give it a chance and have as much fun playing it as I did making it and playtesting it, etc. Now, I have to give props to JohnsWorlds, who illustrated this, as well as some of the illustrations inside. This is what made me like a believer in myself in this, just seeing this, and it's just beautiful. I mean, it's just like, it's wild too, because I had talked with him about what I was thinking of, and then just to have somebody be able to transmute that into this like image as if they scalpeled it right out of your head was so amazing. And it just captured exactly what I was thinking of when I talked about the stilts, which are the special villages of the Frogkin, which are a central plot point of this supplement. Okay. And so just to give you an idea of where the very genesis of this idea was, because you can't, like, when you're making supplements for any Free League product, you can reference those products, but you can't like lift the stuff without specific permission. You can't just like photocopy the map in there. You can't you could take like the names of things, but you can't like just copy their writing, right? And so I looked around this map while I was actually doing it while I was on a break while I was GMing a game for some friends, and I'm looking around this map, and right here is let me actually zoom in just a little bit. Right here is actually Deepfall Breach. And the outskirts, which is the main town, is right here. And so I'm looking around this map and I'm like, where is there space for something to be happening? And for whatever reason, I got really stuck on this little area right here. Okay, so if the outskirts is right here, it's all the way up through here. And although you can only see the left of it, my mind imagined that it was like a triangle, like an arrowhead. And I decided that in this valley, there is a sort of culture of frogkin, which is one of the new kin introduced in the bestiary. Now, you don't need the bestiary to play this. You do need the core book, and you know, if you get the starter box, which is an awesome deal, you'll get everything you need for that. But I just like this idea of something a little bit set off. And so I just would stare at this and try to build out an idea of what was there. And from that, I developed the first part of this game, which is really the lore and the background. Okay, so this is the table of contents. And so, like I said, it's about 50 pages. The first part is going to go over some of the new mechanics that are introduced here. And then the second part is to go over a primary mechanic, which is sort of a looming threat. Now, we had the threat clock in Alone in Deepfall Breach, but the trolls add a new dynamic to this, and a troll tracking system that I think is really going to add an incredible dynamic of urgency and looming threat to this game. Is really going to raise the stakes. And then we talk about the adventure itself, like, because there is a specific adventure here. There is think about Alone in Deepfall Breach, how it had like these waypoints, and then multiply those number of waypoints by like 15. And that's what we have. And so there's going to be instructions on pretty much you have access in this to all of the areas that are already established on the Misty Vale map. But really the only one where any new information specific to this supplement is offered is in the outskirts. Everything else is these new locations invented just for this supplement, okay? And then that little arrowhead, that little valley, is called the Green. And the people who live there are whisper hands, or the wisps, right? And they are this very gentle frogkin people. They live in 3 big villages. Pims by Dover, okay, is going to be my favorite. It's my favorite one. Benton Tally and Gryard. And no, I have no idea how I came up with those names, but Pims by Dover, I just love saying that. And they are a peaceful people, but they are also, they protect themselves. They live in this very, like, it's sort of a swamp area that has this canopy of trees over it. It has like natural defenses to it with the mountains around it. And they live very egalitarian, and they have a strong like attachment to the trees. The muckroot trees there are sort of spiritual conduits to them. If you think sort of like wormwoods in Game of Thrones. So they have some folks that are kind of like shamanistic, and then they also have, people that guard them because they have their families there and everything. And so it all is going to start in this peaceable place. There's going to be a map, and this is, again, I couldn't photocopy this, like the actual map. And so I made this map, and you can always tell which designs are mine because they're the absolute worst, like, designs in the book. But this works well for this because I wanted it to be like a hand-drawn map, and it would be the map that would be made by the Frogkins, right? Because they were like, we have to go get help from the people in this larger community, which is very difficult for them because they have thrived off of keeping to themselves and not getting involved in the affairs of the Misty Vale. And so, but they're in so much trouble that they had to give instructions to the Green. And so you'll see some landmarks that are familiar. For instance, we have the Magna Woods. And so you could sort of orient yourself here is the Magna Woods are actually right there. And then it's decided that this little pass right here is guarded, and it's called Nibbit's Plank. So it's sort of a checkpoint. And JohnsWorlds has this amazing, let me see if I could find this here, this amazing illustration of this. Again, exactly what I was thinking so this is like Nibbit's Plank, and these are the protectors of that, and the people that are the frogkin that are going to kind of halt you there and say, hey, what's your business? What are you doing here? But also along the way, we've invented some new locations. Hotel Muckroot, the old church is there, but has some more definition to it. And so, yeah, like everything is from their perspective. So the perspective is not exactly right. They don't exactly know what all this stuff is. But they're saying, look, we need help. And so it's posted outside of Everly's Tavern. All right. So that's going to give the background of the Green and the current situation. And the current situation is that there are these awakened, these 3 trolls, Duhelda, Ulfgar, and Evengaville, and they've woken up. And Duhelda is the troll of the forest, Ulfgar of the mountains, and Evengaville of the caves. And all of these can be found in the bestiary as like the corollary, cave troll, mountain troll, etc. And they have awakened, as is their name, and they're saying, hey, the Green is ours. We're supposed to be the ones that live here. We're the rulers of it, and we were tricked out of it. And so they're pretty weak from waking up, but they're still attacking and want this land back, and they're growing in power. And so this piece of the narrative is going to be built into the mechanics of it when we talk about the threat clock. And the threat clock is going to have this troll attack component. But in order to make sure that you, the player character, has the best shot of being able to defend these villages, to maybe confront and overcome these trolls if that's what it's going to take, just like Alone in Deepfall Breach, we introduce a few additional mechanics that'll help you have a more successful solo experience. Everything that you need has a page reference throughout the text. So that's pretty common in like supplements like this to reference the core text, because again, I can't like copy the core text, so I have to refer to it. But the way that it's written, believe me, because this writing was refined over and over by me for about 7 or 8 months until I finally was like, my brain was fried and I had to call in DruidicHabit, who is a prolific creator of the Hexplorer's Guide. You should also check this out. I'll put the links below, because DruidicHabit I had known for creating this Hexplorer's Guide, who he puts out this new zine for this every single month. And so I just knew this was somebody that was used to like pacing themselves and writing. And as I encourage you all to do whenever you feel stuck on something, I reached out and said, hey man, is there any way you could help me with this? And of course, the rest is history, because his editing and additional writing and diagrams was not only able to bring it to the finish line, but also made me feel the support and the relief that I needed. Because if you've ever created a solo supplement, you just get like really overwhelmed by the expansiveness of something you're creating. You start feeling like it's too big. And so to have someone come in and be like, oh yeah, cool, I could help you out, it just made me feel like, okay, I've got somebody else to carry this load with me. We can do it. And it was probably the best choice I've made, because how many times, maybe some of you resonate with this, maybe I'm the only one, but sometimes I'll get to that point where I'm just like, it's too big. I don't think I can finish it. I think I bit off more than I can chew. And so you might like salve yourself by moving on to some other project or something. And I was just determined. I was like, no, I cannot let this happen. I want this game to exist. I want to play this game. And so to bring in help was the best choice. And so there's a couple of things in Alone in Deepfall Breach that are changes for solo play. The first thing is you have these 2 additional heroic abilities, and you're able to choose one. One of them was Army of One, and then there's Soul Survivor. Army of One allows you to take a second initiative. Like you can have combat twice, and then Soul Survivor is, if I remember correctly, because I never choose Soul Survivor. Soul Survivor means that you can re-roll any failed roll once, I think. In this one, you could see here AIDB is like the shortening way of Alone in Deepfall Breach on the column, middle of the right column under heroic abilities. So you can have both of those and have one activated at any time. But you can also get a companion in your party. So when that happens, rather than having this Army of One thing where you have 2 initiatives, you now have a companion. And so you can give up that second initiative to a companion, and then you can take on Soul Survivor. And I wanted to build out this companion idea and the ability to add additional heroic abilities so that because it's bigger than Alone in Deepfall Breach, right? You're going to need some more help with that, right? And so then there's more just like customization here in terms of character creation. And another thing regarding companions, just to make it have a higher degree of narrative engine. Like I wanted there to be a narrative engine with the companion, because that's just another way that when you're playing solo, you can we're looking for ways to like jumpstart the story at any turn, right? We need something that's going to create a change or a conflict or a revelation or an insight or just a conversation. And so we've also added companion coherence. And this is a system for determining how on board with you this companion is. You know, do they feel like they really are on your side and they're ready, they're down for whatever? Is it sort of a relationship or I guess compact of convenience? And there are mechanics that will allow you to shift around your companion's disposition based on how they're feeling physically, mentally, etc. And based on that, you will have an idea from a narrative perspective, but also a gameplay perspective, like how trustworthy is this companion? How much are they going to be able to help me? You also have collaborative skill checks. We have abridged rules for creating a companion so that they have nice filled out like stats and stuff, but it's also quicker, some of the stuff summarized so that you're not like constantly doing character sheets. And then a little bit of a companion sheet here that you can just use to list out any of the companions you have, put it on an index card. And in like very early video game RPGs, there'd be this thing where you might have to like keep one companion at the inn. Well, actually this happens a lot now, because now you have like RPGs with 30 companions. You have to choose who's in your party. And if, you want to keep maybe these index cards so that if you decide that one companion is better for some adventure than another, you can grab that index card and bring them back into your party. Okay. Now the threats, I don't want to spoil all of this, but there are a threat clock, just like in Alone in Deepfall Breach. But in addition to there being these threats that occur, when your threat clock goes to 0, we also have some further customization. So the first thing is that we have specific threats for overland travel, dungeon travel, and when you're in a town or settlement, because you can't count on the fact that like, oh, you rolled another another threat's been triggered. Well, you fell through a pit. Well, that makes sense if you're in a dungeon, but that doesn't make sense if you're like standing in a restaurant, right? And so these threats are customized to your location. And then we have the threat counter that initiates these threats, but there's the meta narrative of these troll actions. And every time a threat is triggered, the one of the trolls, and you have to roll to figure out which, is going to advance further towards a stilt, and they're going to regenerate. Their powers are going to grow. And the stilts, all the villages that the Frogkins have, they all have their own like defenses, and they all have stats that, you know, if the trolls become too powerful and they attack and you're not there, then they're going to lose some of their buildings, they're going to lose some of your people, and that in turn will affect the overarching meta narrative of that. Okay. And so I really want to talk about like, but it's all there. Like anything you're thinking about right now, you know, well, how do we determine how far they are, all that stuff. It's all been thought about. We have dynamics for all of it. We have the stats here for the different stilts. We have systems for determining the troll's morale, and then we get into the adventure. Okay. And this is really super special to me, that because this, I will just be straight up with you. You will never know writing fatigue, no matter how cool it was. And don't get me wrong, this stuff is so cool, but like, I have such respect for somebody like, I'm going to be reviewing a book by Lee Wade, Alone Against Nyan Throlep, I think that's how you say it. And it's like 1,000 different entries, and just coming up with like what happens in each of the buildings, not just each of the villages, but each of the buildings, each of the characters. It is tough to like just keep coming up with those different ideas. But the fact that DruidicHabit was able to help me get over the finish line of that, I'm so happy that this is able to exist, because in the end, there's just like hundreds of things that can happen. And there's sort of like set points that, you know, you will have this adventure that has these set pieces to it. And this is how it's set up. Like there's locations, what type of location. And then for each waypoint, there's different rooms. Some of them are dungeons. So for instance, this is like the outskirts. You can go to Everly's Tavern. You can go to the rickety old house. You can go to the dark alley. And everywhere in there is going to be a different encounter. There's going to be different NPCs. And it's not just talking. Like we have so many fun things. There's people who make you do gambling. There's people who make you go on quests. There's people who make you trade something with them, who make them prove yourself to them by sparring with them. There's people who only let you talk to them if you're wearing a certain thing or you've done a certain thing. And so it's in one respect, it's not like a choose your own adventure, right? I mean, it's not just that. It's a more complete thing, but it has enough of this, how shall we say, like spine to it. The architecture of it is such that you have this core, this base of this narrative that you can weave in and out of, that you can go to progress the plot forward and discover new things, but you don't have to stick to it. You can visit anywhere in the Misty Vale, but these places are going to have these sort of more specific events. Outside of that, you can generate what happens just like, you know, anything. If you were playing Alone in Deep Fall Breach, you have to generate what's happening in this room. You got to generate what the NPC says, etc. And so in that way, this is a complete tool for you to explore this awesome, awesome world. And I know that some of you have had that Dragonbane box set sitting there. Just you want to explore it. You want to solo play. I'm really confident that this is a great option. So I really hope you'll consider this. I want so badly to play through it, but I just don't want to spoil too much of it. There's so many parts that I hope either you'll roll your eyes, but there's fun, there's humor, there's a great story. There's a lot to help you understand how to be a better solo player and to develop. My hope is that, you play the 30 or so pages of the adventure, and then now you've created an entire world inside the Misty Vale, or further than that. If the Path to Glory comes with another map that fell behind my desk and I can't reach it, but you go further than that using the principles and using the new sort of constraints of that reality that you have set up through this adventure. I am so thankful to DruidicHabit and to JohnsWorlds for supporting this vision and making it come true. I'm really thankful to the members and every subscriber who have just been so encouraging and just been like so kind with saying, I can't wait till it comes out. I can't wait till it's here. And look, it's, it's not everybody is able to afford something like that, especially as I've like grumbled about PDFs and stuff. But if you look at the other ones available on DriveThruRPG, I think that you'll see the price point of $10 is pretty fair, given that there's just so much content in this. And I promise you will get your money's worth. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you have purchased it already. We've had quite a few purchases so far. We're very excited about that. Let me know any initial thoughts that you have, any questions you'd have. I'd be very happy to talk about it in the comments. We do have a lot of exciting things coming up this week. Chaosium has sent me the Grey Knight. Like I said, Lee Wade has sent me Alone Against Nyan Throlop. I gotta figure out how to say that. And we have all sorts of fun and games in store. And in a few, let's say, months or maybe 6 weeks or something, once people have gone through this enough, I'll do a little bit of a half playthrough of this as well, just to show you a little bit more of how it develops. But for now, I know I haven't posted in a few days, and it's just because we've been trying to get everything set up on DriveThru, and it's not as easy as it looks. Like sometimes it is. Sometimes you just upload something and it's there, but other times it's a little more difficult. So we're getting everything set up in that respect, and so maybe sooner I could even do a little bit of a playthrough on that. But Called to the Green. It's available now on DriveThruRPG. It is, it's going to blow your mind, and that's a guarantee. Your mind is just going to be absolutely exploded. So, thanks for watching. I don't think that's a good idea to say people's heads are going to get exploded. I'm always ending on something that's I need to be like, thank you. God bless you. God bless America.